Uh, you're talking about property tax too on businesses. It just occurred to me that the $400 check, the Christmas gift or the vote buying gift that was sent us by the governor, did not include small businesses. If you own a small business and you pay taxes on the property, you didn't share in any of that refund.
No, it was a pretty targeted tax relief. Well, actually, I wouldn't call it tax relief. I call it a partial refund of an overpayment in taxes. And everyone's property taxes, if you'll look at them, they didn't change at all. In fact, in Billings here, they went up quite a bit. It didn't even cover the $400 check. After you pay taxes on that, it didn't even cover what your property taxes went up. So, what we really needed was long-term permanent property tax relief. That's what we tried to get through in the legislature, and it was blocked by the Democrats and by the governor.
Can the state afford it?
Can the state afford it? We
No.
had a $1.4 billion surplus in the last session. That's $1.4 billion of extra money that the taxpayers sent to Helena. And after all the spending went on, we couldn't afford it, but we could have spent less, and that's what we should have done. A 40% increase in spending is not sustainable, and it will just cause problems in the future.
How do you answer the not just the 40% more spending in this last budget, but the increased number of employees in state government? We talk a lot about smaller government. We need smaller government. We need to localize as much government as we can. We need smaller government. And now we've got 1,000 more employees, including those 100 that were hired in the Department of Revenue to track down people who aren't paying their taxes.
Well, I think what we really need to concentrate on is better government, not bigger government. And that is, bigger government doesn't necessarily help us. It just adds on to the future costs, and we just need better government. We can do that without growing the size of government.
Let's talk a little bit about this survey. It was kind of interesting. It was the results of the 2007 Montana Chamber Power Base poll. It showed Montanans are eager to develop the state's natural resources. If we're so eager, why aren't we doing it?
Well, that's a good question, and a lot of our problems in Montana revolve around lawsuits and things like that are trying to keep the natural resources in the ground or standing in the fields or in our forests. And we can do these things in an environmentally sound manner. I was noting on the news break when we first started the show, as I was driving in, that the coal-powered plant, the special governmental power plant that's zero emissions project, it's a multi-billion-dollar project, was awarded to Illinois. Now, here we are in Montana. We have the largest coal reserves in the United States. We are the Saudi Arabia of coal. You would have thought that our state would have put in a proposal to try and get that project here in Montana. We didn't even submit a bid or any sort of proposal. And those are the kind of things that people think that we should be doing. There's a project where we have the coal, we have the reserves, we have the base to do this kind of thing, and it's environmentally sound too at the same time. And so those kind of things would make I think people in Montana understand we should be doing that kind of thing.
Well, it was a big poll that was taken by the Chamber of Commerce. Webb Brown is telling us, and when it says when it comes to the result says that Montanans are overwhelmingly is a big number in favor of using those natural resources. We still don't do it.
Well, we are doing some of it, and we tried to. We have gotten in the past. We've gotten some development of our natural resources. In fact, oil and gas reserves have been developed over the last 5 years in a very good way, and that was initiated by the reduction in the oil and gas tax and horizontal drilling incentives passed in 1999. Oil and gas companies decided to come back to Montana and start drilling again. And this big discovery in northeastern Montana came into fruition. And we can do more of that if we just keep concentrating on on developing these things and giving businesses the incentive to come to Montana.
Roy, I've got to take a break right here. Stick with us, if you will, because there was we were talking about business a little while ago, and there's some great information in the survey about business, and we will do that right after this. Our telephone number, 1-866-627-5483.